Alright, I should have just fixed the sound issue that I had with previously, so apologies for that. I didn't realize that my mic wasn't turned on. I guess that's a little bit of a problem. But anyway, I'm going to redo this update because the sound wasn't working before. So, just a little bit of activity going on out there. Just a little bit. There's actually a lot that we're going to be talking about here because this is a very unique weather situation that we are dealing with today. We could see tornadoes as far north as northern Indiana, potentially even southern Michigan, as late as December 10th. That is something pretty surprising. Typically, you only see tornadoes in Louisiana, Mississippi, places like in Dixie Alley during this time. But today, we could be dealing with some of that ourselves. So, first thing I'm going to show you is the current radar. So hopefully you can see that. I just pulled it up. The radar here, this is the current map. Right now we have this right here, this line of rain. Pretty heavy. It's probably raining in a lot of your guys' houses that are watching right now. And, well, hi. Well, hi, Aunt Sheila. Yeah, but it's going north and east. It's going off to the northeast, this warm front. And this is going to be some pretty heavy rain moving through, and it's going to continue progressing off to the north and east. So this warm front is just being fueled by a bunch of moisture and warm air that's just being pulled by that strong mid-level jet that we have moving through from the south. So from the south, we have right here is our low pressure system right about now. Warm front right about here, cold front right about here. And there you see that activity that's really starting to take off right along that cold front in Missouri. You have tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings in that entire area. So off to the north, you have that heavy snow that could be producing up to a foot of snow in some places. So that's going to be something you want to keep an eye on for that if you live up in the Upper Peninsula. Now, what is going to be happening with severe weather tonight? Well, take a look at the Storm Prediction Center first. Right now, we have a moderate risk of severe weather in the very southernmost tip of Indiana. Not really in southern Indiana overall. You have an enhanced risk that is going to you're likely going to see maybe one or two quite a few tornadoes, but a couple strong tornadoes will be possible in that enhanced risk area. There is a 10% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a point. And that hashed area indicates that you could see F2 to F5. Up in southern Michigan, you have about a 2% risk, so nothing too extreme in regards to that, but there is a risk there regardless. Places such as the Cedarville University region, western Ohio, and pretty much the rest of Indiana has the potential for seeing some severe weather. Rain gear and snow pants. Yes, definitely the rain gear, especially if you live in southern Michigan. You're going to see a lot of rain tonight, heavy rain up to an inch or two even in southern Michigan. And then on the backside of that, you're going to have a rapid drop in temperatures that's going to lead to possibly some slick spots on the roads and maybe some snow on the backside. In addition to the potential for 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, which is why that high wind watch is out for places such as Allegan, Kalamazoo, Barry, and areas off to the north. Down in St. Joe County, areas such as that, really up to 55 mile per hour wind gusts is what you'll see down there. All right, so tornado risk is more elevated off to the south. Wind risk, pretty general across Ohio, Indiana, and then southern Michigan. Southern Michigan will most likely see that damaging wind risk over anything else. The chance for a potential tornado is much lower than you would get down in this region. Hail is not really much of a concern unless you are on the storms that are just popping up in Arkansas, Missouri, and Illinois. Speaking of those storms, I want to take a look at those real quick because those things are starting to really take off and prompt quite a few tornado warnings. So let's take a look at what's coming our way. So we have a nice defined line of supercells that is developing right northeast of Springfield, Missouri. Let's take a look at the velocity map so we can get an idea of where that rotation is within the storm. So right there is where you have that rotation. So green indicates winds going towards the radar site. The radar site's back in Springfield over here. Green indicates winds going towards the radar site, and red indicates going away. So your rotation within this storm here is right there. All right, so that storm is pushing off to the north and east. Not sure. There is no confirmation of a tornado on that storm yet, capable of producing a tornado, but a storm spotter did report a wall cloud, which is not a tornado, but it's the precursor. So severe thunderstorm warnings are starting to really pick up in some of these regions. Let's see. Looks like there's been a confirmed tornado northeast of Little Rock, Arkansas. Let's take a look at that real quick. There's been a spotter report of a tornado on the ground. Let's see. Severe thunderstorm producing a tornado. Yep, confirmed tornado on the ground. There is your tornado, most likely right there, right by Tupelo. So if you're in Tupelo, Arkansas, you're going to want to be taking cover now. Areas in Kentucky right now also have a tornado warning. Let's see what that has to say. Tornado warning. That tornado warning has expired since its issuance, so that box will likely disappear on the map soon. But let's get back to the Great Lakes region, because that's the area that we're focusing on tonight. All right, let's get off the velocity map, because the velocity map can show you a lot of things when there's no tornado. All right, so just that warm front, and then the cold front that is going to begin to develop on the backside. Let's take a look at the forecast models to see what they have to say about the potential for severe weather. So we're going to go to the reflectivity map. All right, this is where we're at right now. Let's pull it forward to where we actually are. We are at, right here, Christmas colors. Yeah, not the kind of Christmas colors you really want to see, especially if it's darker Christmas colors. But yeah, Christmas colors. So this is where we're at right now in regards to the weather. You have that band of heavy rain moving through with some more rain behind it. And this rain's just going to stick in the southern lower Michigan area pretty much most of the night. So that's why we're going to expect heavy rain, and then also thunderstorms will be possible with that heavy rain overnight tonight. And really crazy event that's going to be happening, because as this warm front progresses through, overnight we're going to see temperatures rise from what the temperature is 45 degrees right now. Temperature's going to rise from 45 degrees up to 60 degrees overnight tonight, and then sink back down very quickly into the 30s after the cold front moves through. So that just gives you an idea of how powerful this storm system is, how powerful the wind within the system is too. It's going to be quite a roller coaster ride of temperatures overnight tonight. So this warm front's going to lift through, and then now you can see in Illinois, those storms are the storms that we are going to be expecting to move into southern lower Michigan, northern Indiana, and then a line's just going to continue to develop along southern Indiana in places like that. So let's take a look at this. And then off to the north, you have that very heavy snowstorm that's moving through Mackinac, the Upper Peninsula. You can see up to several inches of snow, even up to a foot of snow in some places, and then freezing rain maybe even around the Mackinac Bridge region. But going back down to the storms, you can see how they just really organize well into a line, just fueled by that mid-level shear that's in the atmosphere right now. Let's take a look at a sounding and see what kind of hazard types they're forecasting. Severe weather, that photograph right there is pretty intense for wind. When we look at these photographs, we look for a kind of a hook setup to these, and this one has kind of a really broad hook, and the potential for severe weather is definitely there. So it's going to be kind of a variable event for the potential for seeing tornadoes, but damaging winds pretty much are inevitable from this system, especially even behind the cold front. We could see wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour because of just the pressure drop that this low pressure system is going to be taking overnight tonight. So this line is just really going to organize overnight, and then we could see quite a few tornadoes along the line, especially in the southern Indiana region. Michigan, probably not as much, just heavy rain, rumbles of thunder, maybe a marginal severe risk is what's being put out by the forecast sounding. So a lot of different variables at play up here, especially since it's the middle of December. It's not going to be really good forecast weather, or really good weather for tornadoes at this time of the year in Michigan. So it takes a really intense storm to do that, and this one won't quite make the bar. So this line going to continue to organize, maybe begin to crumple a little bit as it moves into the morning hours. But on the back side of it, that pressure is really going to dive in this low pressure system, and that's what's going to fuel the much cooler air and the potential of seeing up to 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts on the backside, not even associated with the thunderstorms. So very intense system tonight. A lot of variables at play in southern Michigan's threat for severe weather, but pretty much the variables are all in place for that severe weather potential in southern Indiana. So keep an eye out for severe weather events, and I will be coming back on live if a severe weather event happens to take place in any of the regions that we cover: Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. If you have questions, be sure to leave a comment before I decide to sign off. I'm going to sign off in a couple of minutes before the severe weather event arrives. But yeah, these storms are going to be very interesting to see evolve as they approach. We got a nice line forming along that cold front. Most likely, it's going to organize into a nice, well-defined line of thunderstorms. Let's take a look at the national maps real quick. National, so let's look at the continental U.S. map for the development of this line of storms. Internet's taking a minute to load. There we are. All right, so here's where we're at again right now. Look how this line develops. Just a huge cluster of thunderstorms along this line. You have this warm air mass, then you have this cold air mass on the back side of it. That's really just going to send our temperatures nosediving right in the morning from 60 degrees down to 35 by later in the day. So very quick drop in temperatures with a sudden change of wind. And then we're going to see temperatures warm back up to the 60s later this week. So pretty wild ride of weather taking place over the next few days. Will we have a white Christmas? Still uncertain of that yet. So we'll just have to watch and see what happens there. But again, if you live in southern Indiana, northern Indiana, western Ohio, even extreme southern lower Michigan, you may want to have the ability to receive weather alerts overnight tonight, just depending on what kind of storms we receive overnight tonight. You're going to want to make sure that you're in the know. So let's go back to the regional map. Let's compare the HRR to the other model, NAM 3K, to see if it follows a similar suit. So yep, similar suit, that rain band. Then you see that intensifying line of storms on the backside along with the cold front. Let's get a sounding in Kalamazoo County. They're not forecasting severe weather for this region, although the graphs are showing classic supercell development with this system. So not as many variables at play in the forecast in southern Indiana where there will be a tornado risk tonight. So just something to keep an eye on. They've reissued that tornado warning northeast of Springfield, Missouri. Take a look at that. Capable of producing a tornado. There is a tornado on the ground in Jonesboro. If you live in Jonesboro, Arkansas, you're going to want to be taking cover. There is a tornado on the way. Severe thunderstorm that is producing a tornado. So if you live in Jonesboro, Arkansas, take cover now. All right. All right, that pretty much covers everything I want to cover tonight. If there are any severe weather events in the Great Lakes region overnight tonight, I will likely be back live again. And especially if it comes near the southwest lower Michigan region, because a lot of you viewing this are from southwest lower Michigan at the moment. So I will make sure to provide you updates on those storms if they decide to move in. But for now, I'm going to sign off, and just let me know if you have any questions. Send me a message on all the social media platforms. I'll pull up the thing that allows you to take a look at the different ways you can connect. You can connect on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and also you can text that handle right there at GLWSWMI to 81010 to receive text updates for Southwest Lower Michigan. So at GLWSWMI to 81010 to get updates from me. All right, that's all I'm going to share for today, for this evening, and later on tonight I might be on to provide some help for you all. All right. Thank you. I will try to be safe. And you be safe as well. It's going to be quite an intense evening of storms. All right. Have a good evening, and I will see you all.